Pappy. I'm alert, I'm alive, and I feel great. Say it 5 times every morning when you first wake up, my dad would say. I'm alert, I'm alive, and I feel great, I repeated with curiosity. Say it again, he said with a playful seriousness. I'm alert, I'm alive, and I feel great, I said with more energy. I'm alert, I'm alive, and I feel great, he echoed back with a boisterous rumble in his belly. Once more, Kaylee, but this time with more gusto, he said, while standing in his hugging the tree pose. I'm alert, I'm alive, and I feel great, the words vibrated out of my lungs, rushing oxygen through the blood in my veins. My dad's eyes lighting up. Oh, I love you so much, honey, he said, swooping me up into his arms. Go joyfully into your sorrow, my father would always say. In a way, I feel like my dad has been preparing me for this moment my entire life. He would always speak about what I would need to do if he was no longer around. He would always say that there's a lot of pricks out in the world, honey, and I ought to be prepared to punch them in the fucking throat. My dad and I often spoke about death. It was a subject that we didn't shy away from. He always said he wanted to die in his sleep. He said that would be the way he would want to go. Either that or he said he wanted me to push him down a flight of stairs in his wheelchair when he was 105. This was his idea of a great father-daughter bonding activity. The weekend leading up to his passing, I knew something was coming. I had this overwhelming sensation of dread. I cried for 3 days straight leading up to his death. My father visited me every night in my room that weekend, as if he was trying to comfort me. I remember crying to Corey saying, I'm just so scared my dad is going to die. I tried calling him, but couldn't get a hold of him. So I sent him an email waiting for a response that never came. I find great comfort in the fact that he passed in his sleep. He loved to sleep. We always took naps together when I was a kid, and he loved to rest and meditate. For about a year, he shaved his head and slept on a piece of plywood on the floor when he thought he was dying. He said it was part of his pathway to enlightenment and made him feel more grounded. I thought to myself, it's just dad being dad. I rather liked the shaved head. It made him look more like Bruce Willis and less like Mel Gibson. Remember, Kaylee, he would say, go joyfully into your sorrow. He often spoke about enlightenment and atonement. He said that we are all truly alone. We enter this world alone and we leave this world alone. He said that's what atonement means. At one mint. We are all just modified dirt, he'd say. We never really die. Energy doesn't die. It moves, it vibrates. Emotion means energy in motion. We and everything in this room are all tiny molecules of vibrating dirt. Isn't it wonderful? He exclaimed with excitement. He taught me so much about life. He taught me patience and kindness. He taught me how to help others and really live my life with an open heart. He taught me that you must lean into your pain and that within your darkness lies the key to awakening your true self. We discussed Jung's concept of the shadow and how your shadow only has autonomy over you when you neglect it. You must embrace your darkness to truly unlock the power and creativity of your true self. My dad and I have such an amazing connection. We have a one-in-a-lifetime kind of love. I know he is so proud of who I have become, and I know I am so blessed to have experienced true, unconditional love and validation from my father. The moment I heard of his passing, I could hear his voice in the back of my mind. I'm so sorry, he said softly, the sound of tears on his breath. It's going to be okay, he whispered, as his broad shoulders and strong arms wrapped around me. I felt him enter my soul and hold my heart together with his rough hands to keep me from falling into a million tiny particles of dust. I've lost count of the number of people who have said my dad was like a father to them. My dad always wanted to help everyone. He always wanted to make people feel connected and seen, especially when they didn't want to. It would make him try even harder to get through to them. One day, he basically forced a blind man to let him pay for his groceries and walk him home because the man was trying to pay with a library card. The man said, "Go ahead," to gesture my dad to go before him. My dad snapped back, "Go ahead," erupting onlookers in laughter and confusion. They became great friends. He has many great friends. He is the greatest friend I have ever had and will ever have. He was quick to anger my old man. I've never seen so many broken ladders in my life. I once saw him snap a coffee table in half with his forearms. Yet he was the first to apologize and admit when he was wrong. To me, anyways. He is a sensational father. My hero, my crazy old Pappy, always on about something wrong with the world. Persistent pappying, I used to call it. I would reply saying, "I'm aware, Dad, I'm aware," and he'd respond, "Honey, this is serious business. One day I won't be around and I need to teach you everything I know." Lifelines. Say what you mean and mean what you say. 11 years abroad, 11 years away from you, 10 years and 3/4 to be exact. Lucky 11 years of growth, safety, and security. 11 years needed to heal the scars of my past. Scars that run deep, roots that rip through the earth's core, piercing layers of ancestral trauma and lifelines. Splitting the veil that divides this realm and the next, roots thick and knotted, blistering and bleeding as it forms another life ring in the tree's core. Trees that produce the oxygen we need, that fill our lungs, pumping our hearts and keeping us from falling apart. You see, we cannot have one without the other. We cannot exist without the roots of the trees that reach deep down into the depths of our darkness. We cannot have the ability to breathe from the trees without the rings that connect us to the moments we wish to free. The blood that pumps through our veins is the same sap that strangles us in our sleep. It is the absence of light that welcomes the void of darkness, and it is that void that holds space for light to fill. It is only when we learn to drink from the sap, when we do the work to turn it into syrup, when we can taste its sweet nectar and understand that the same sap that clogs our veins is the exact salve that will save us from our slumber. Wake up, are you paying attention? We and the trees are all the same. We are all modified dirt, lifelines connecting what's yours to mine, held together by the force of the universe, joining us to our ancestral lines, held in time and space, in this form only to break down into the rich earth that feeds future lives to grow. If we are all made of dust, then we never really die. Our spirit moves from one form to the next, this shape to the next, perplexed to realize that we continue to choke on our own fabricated lies. Wake up, you're not paying attention. It all starts with a spark as the spirit enters your being, pumping life into your beating heart, an existence so fragile and fleeting, beautiful, breathing, beating, living, loving, lying, discerning, denying, dying, dug in a hole beneath our feet. Will you roll over in defeat? Will you live your life in deceit? Disconnected and reliant on devices full of misplaced vices and all the nicest shit we don't fucking need that poison us with greed. Pumping radiation in our skin into the lives of our innocent kin, running from our eternal sins, dumping poison into our streams and wondering why it suffocates our dreams. Because we are all one and the same. Are you listening? Are you a man or a mouse? 31 years. 30 3/4 to be exact. 31 years of being blessed with the fucking gift of being your daughter. Laugh lines that trace your face, an imprint of where your smile graced. A line so fine we walk between life and death, this existence and the next. Out of all the spirits in the vast entity that is existential existence, I got to be with you. I was created from you. Therefore, I am you, and you are I. You and I are one and the same, Dad. We are made from the same dirt. We share the same hurt. We are alive and alert. As I assert myself in this lifetime and into my children's lifetime, I begin the climb, the ascent to enlightenment. I know that your death in this metaphysical form, that our shared dirt And this hurt that cuts me like a fucking knife is the greatest gift you have given me in life, because it is now that I am truly alive and alert. As the oxygen from the rooted trees no longer flows into our lungs, down our spines, feeding our bloodlines, we will all lay and decay in the same dirt, decompose as the tree grows another lifeline. It is then we are truly divine, reaching our highest mirth, refined into sweet Mother Earth. I love you so much, Dad, and I'll see you in Narnia.